Welcome, Wapham crew, guys, gals, ghouls, friends, fiends, foes, whoever may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, April 19th, Sunday, April 20th for those of you across the pond and beyond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. If you're listening live right now, you may be listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find at KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com. You can also find us live right now on YouTube. Otherwise, you can find us on StreamYard and other places you like to listen to your podcast. Basically, anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can find us. All right, so I started the show late because we were having some sound issues and then thought it was fixed. And then, for some apparent reason, it was being all weird again because the intro music was not playing at the volume that it should have. So I don't know. I just hope that the TikToks for tonight will be loud and clear. If not, I may have to mess around with the controls a little bit. But yeah, I hope you guys are having an awesome Easter weekend. I got a lot of stuff to prepare. I gotta make some sugar cookies and blueberries and snow, which is kind of like cheesecake, but yummier and bigger. And then, what else? Oh, deviled eggs. The girls really want me to make my famous deviled eggs, so we're going to be doing that. But yeah, let's get on to our trippy TikToks. These are some of the trippiest TikToks I've found online, so I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I have. All right, ready? Here we go. Joe tie. But that's totally true. Beliefs can be false. Trust yourself, not what you've been told. Trust your gut. Like we've been taught so many lies, it's redonkulous. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. This is Trippy. Smoke ring. Ew. Why'd she say ew? It's SpaceX. Just kidding. It's not. Wow. I like funny shaped fruit. They're fun. Yeah, buy that stuff. Buy it up. Uh-oh. 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 Here he comes. Birds are scary. Hey, that's awesome. Poached eggs. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Heck yeah, dude. Nah, I don't got one of those. What? Man. Shaped by a cow. Crow. Hmm. Oh. Poor BB. Oh. Yeah. Hmm. Ooh. Hey, buddy. They're pretty smart. Oh. Uh-oh. No! Oh. Yes, morals. Uh-oh, she saw something. Probably a snake. No. Moron! Oh. I guarantee it's a snake. Yo! Oh no. We got you right in the face or the neck. Oh no. Not good. Yep. Aw, they saved each other's lives. Gotta follow this guy. Oh. That's what a lot of people say. Wow. Deathland. Oh, wow. Hell on earth, baby. I've said that before. It's like purgatory or whatever. Oh. How do you know the good unless you have the bad? I don't want one. Oh. How come the little one has ears, but they don't? Kingman is such a weird place. Super haunted for sure. Pangea, yeah. Nah. Wow. And the Carolinas, it looks like. And Georgia. Georgia and North Carolina and Florida. It's the original Egypt. Yeah, it does. And in other scripts too. No, he was further south. He just thought he was in America. Me neither. Yeah, we're supposed to have 13 months. Used to be that way. Look at the Chinese when they celebrate the New Year. Uh-oh. Oh, man. It's amazing. Look at all that. Holy shnikes. And these are with playing cards. Oh my goodness. Oh. No way. Is this real? I don't believe it. This has got to be like AI, because how do you... I don't know. I guess it's possible. Swing! Oh. Wow. Okay. Ew. Ugh. Gross. What the fuck? Eeh. Bugh.
Ooh. Make it happen. Ew, I don't want to see your dirty feet. And he said, it's time for break, boys and girls. All right, on that note, we're going to go to our first music break. On this break, we have Hosni Bronx from basically Jamaica originally, but he's also from the greater New York area. And then we also have King Cinnamon. And yeah, I figured we'd do some upbeat sort of reggae stuff for the Easter weekend. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you back here shortly. Fantastic. Dance, dance. Before your love.
Mm-hmm.
Baby girl. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well. Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight is Trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT, and we've had some pretty trippy ones in there. Don't know about you, but my mind's been a bit blown. Let me see what we got going on here and see if we want to kind of change modes and go to following instead of for me, because this list that we're doing right now is for me, and the other one is following, so who I'm following. So let's see, what do you guys think? I think this one that was coming up, and he said, I don't know, looks interesting, but maybe let's go to following. I might have to make it bigger to see. I don't know about you guys, but my vision has been really bad lately. Oh! See, and why is this on here? No. No, I want to unfollow. Thank you. Jeez, I don't even remember following. Ooh, this one looks creepy. Alright, I'll make it bigger so we can all see. Let's go. Cats on alert. Oh. Is that 4 of them? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? That other cat's like, that was weird. Get your Zen on. Serenity, breathe, peaceful, walk, gratitude. J-Toe, I love and miss you, girl. Aw, that's my boo, J-Toe. Up there in beautiful Canalia. She's one of my gorgeous Canadian friends. Hey, boo. No, it's all fake. Oh. Oh. Wow. Did you say 5,000? Why? Can the family live there? Can I move in? Wow. Leave it. What? That was 2 days ago. No. Where? Yar.
Sorry. Could I take one of your crystals out as a trigger item for ghost hunting? I'll make sure that I don't drop it or anything. Ooh, this is perfect.
Yes, use that.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. Don't lose it, please.
I won't.
All right. Love you.
I love you, too. I'll either be holding it or I'll have it dangling.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too, bub. Tween. Oh. I don't know if you guys have seen these maps, but it's fucking crazy. Okay. Most of us have seen this older map showing these older things. But look at these other ones that are from NASA and satellites, etc. Doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. You'll see what I'm saying. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. And then he died. Uh-oh. Is this ASMR? I'm scared. I'm scared still. What is happening? No. No! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! What? I would have at least hooked my legs on there. That guy's crazy. No, 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 no. She usually does paranormal stuff, but check that out. Ooh. I don't know. I want one. Stuff that was made back in the day is made way better than what we got today. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Vietnam. You can't hear the video? Oh shit. Let me see. It's showing it on there. Uh-oh. Let me try. Let me unmute it and see if that works.
Before my husband comes home and realizes that I was just playing dress up with y'all instead of moving stuff out of the room so we can do the floor. I'd rather play dress up. Okay, bye guys. We're really supposed to be cleaning out these rooms that I'm supposed to clear out so we can replace the floor.
Can you hear it now? Cool is it echoey?
I forgot that I had like this. Look at my phone. It's a rotary phone, guys. Why don't they make phones like this?
Caught on a trail cam deep in the
and that's why
something massive lumbers through the dark.
The U.S. government.
Caught on a trail cam deep in the Canadian
so that's why I went on late.
Something
Stop.
massive.
Because the sound was not working, and then I restarted, and the sound was working. And now the sound's not working again, so I don't know. Let me know if you can hear it. Is it echoey? I might have to go back to the main settings, but yeah, let me know. Thank you for letting me know in the first place.
Massive lumbers through the dark, but what it is, no one can agree.
What? No. What the frack?
In the remote woods of Canada, a trail cam captured
Ooh.
footage of thousands arguing. Is it just a moose? Or something far more...
Yeah, the hump on the back and stuff does look like a moose.
It moves like a large animal.
If I hadn't known it was in Canada, I would think like a werewolf, but that is a
Its body
moose.
structure seems...
The U.S. government has a declassified document of where they're actively searching for Noah's Ark.
No way.
I heard it was
on
in
Mount Ararat.
Turkey?
This document says from 1974 to 1982, apparently a general used a U-2 spy plane to photograph Ararat. And they had these pictures, and they said that the proof was inconclusive. But then all these scientists and stuff like asking to declassify the photos,
Yeah.
and they refused to. They were like, yeah, you're not allowed to get those photos. Just know that it's inconclusive. Like,
Yeah.
we don't think it was Noah's Ark.
Then release the photos.
And they're like, okay, well, can we just look then? No.
No, you can't.
Sorry.
Sorry.
The U.S. government has a declassified document of where they're actively searching for Noah's Ark.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's in Twiki. I'm scared.
A major earthquake hit Southern California
Yes.
today. Just right there, by
San
San
Diego.
Diego. And they're feeling it all the way up into Los Angeles. Yeah, at the time of me making this video, it only happened a couple hours ago. A friend from that area texted me today, said the whole area went nuts. It was shaking all over the place. Skeet scatting and shabdabbing. The effects of this earthquake being felt from San Diego right into LA and everything between. And there's a lot of area out there, not just Gavin Newsom's hairline. Yeah, a lot of area. So people are legitimately freaked out. Yeah, they're freaking out. Because you're just sitting at home, if you still have a home, and everything is shaking. And then it got me to thinking about something. This, the mega volcano in Alaska, that they think is going to blow at any day. Hey, notice that guy? He's pretty damn good looking. I'm not a...
But what about the one in Yellowstone? That's much closer.
bumbling
Just
idiot.
saying.
I know Alaska is thousands of miles away from Southern California. But they are kind of in a line together. You can make a straight line from San Diego.
Another thing that I heard recently was the solar flares have been pretty massive. And of course, the sun turns. And there's been, like, I want to say black holes, but black spots on the sun that cause different pools and stuff. And so it was very, very massive. And then it turns, and that causes earthquakes, etc. when, you know, the black holes go away, and then it's just like sun, what is it called? Things that come out of the sun. Yeah. Flying frickin' flames of the sun coming out that cause beautiful things, but also earthquakes. So think about that too. Solar flares. Yeah, that's it. Massive solar flares causing earthquakes. Makes sense.
Right to that volcano in Alaska. So are there some shenanigans going on? Or did all the Kardashians just fall down at the same time? I don't know. But this is something. And in the coming days, I'm sure we'll find out a lot more. Okay, Booshkis, I just wanted to share this with you. Shabadoo!
Yes, queens! Slay! Slay! Slay your enemies!
There is a story about giants in Death Valley. Two amateur.
I've heard this story a long time ago.
Heard
I've
these
talked about it several
legends
times.
regarding this ancient underground city where giants used to roam. So these two dudes, Dr. Bruce and Dr. Daniel, they were just exploring all through Death Valley, and they found this really, really small opening of a cave. So they went down in. They said it was polished stone, like it was perfect. And one of the first caverns that they found, they call it the Hall of Giants, and it was basically these preserved mummies of these giants, hundreds of them, ranging from like 8 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
Just weird stuff. And then another room that they went into apparently had these preserved, mummified, extinct animals. They had dinosaurs in it, saber-toothed tigers.
Makes me feel
mammoths.
sad.
But it gets crazier. They said that they explored it for a total of 15 years. Didn't want to tell anyone about it. So they got all these investors together, and they wanted to start a company.
And was this in Death Valley? I'm hoping to hear the beginning of it again, because it does reloop, but there were two guys that were walking around in Death Valley looking for treasure because they heard some stories. And then one of the guys fell in, you know, through the ground gave out, he fell into a cavern and found preserved giants and gold artifacts and stuff like that. Somehow he found his way back out. I'm not sure how he did it. And he told his friend about it. And then they tried to go back and find it, and they couldn't. But maybe they did. And they just didn't tell anybody. And they researched it for 15 years or whatever he said.
Company called Amazing Explorations. He brought these investors to the caves to see it. And they're like, whoa, what the heck? This is insane. But it was very secretive. So, like, only Dr. Russell knew the exact entrance of this cave. Shortly after that, an article came out talking about this underground labyrinth, ancient giants, all this stuff. And he said, I'm going to do a press conference. I'm going to bring artifacts from the cave, and we're going to expose the whole thing.
Yeah.
On his way out to collect those artifacts, disappeared.
Oh boy.
He was just gone, and they never found him. There is a
Maybe he
story
walked
about
through like a
giants.
portal.
Our generation.
Hey, girl.
Cooked. So we just got the financial data from Coachella, and a staggering 60% of tickets this year were bought on finance. And it gets worse because
What?
low-key, it's not even just
Like
a
credit card?
$600 festival ticket. We're kind of financing everything right now. See, a few years ago, it was largely the big ticket items that cost thousands, like a TV, car, or computers. But in 2025, some of the companies that now offer buy now, pay later include DoorDash.
That's what I was about to say. People are financing DoorDash, Uber Eats, different things like that. Why? Don't do that. If you can't afford it, don't do it.
Uber Eats, Sheen, Target, and this one's crazy, even Chili's. Chili's. Oh, how
Baby
are we getting
back
into debt
ribs.
over our dinner? But it might not all be our fault. You see, usually when there's a cost of living crisis, people have to tighten up on unnecessary spending because you're kind of forced to choose between rent and a festival. But the Coachellas and the Ubers of the world, they put their heads together and they said, how do we still make money? So they said, okay, you can't afford $50 on dinner tonight. So how about we do just $5 over 10 weeks? And it has worked well. By 2023, more than half of Gen Z in the US used BNPL services. In 2024, the US spent more with BNPL than the top 4 countries around the world combined. And by 2027, it's projected $450 billion will be spent this way globally. But debt is debt. And now,
That's
only
what they want.
26% of Gen Z believe that they'll own a home by age 35. So the question is buy now, pay later just a trick to get us to spend money we don't have? Or a genuinely convenient tool that allows us to survive through a cost of living crisis? Our generation.
Bro, how are you still able to work like that after 12 hours straight?
Even the comatose, they don't dance and tell. We live in cities, you'll never see on screen. Not very pretty, but we sure know how to love.
That's so funny. Hi, J-To, is that your grandbaby? Oh, she's so cute. Oh, don't show her feet online. People would like that too much.
It's late in East St. Louis. Something dark is moving across the rooftop.
What is it?
Closely, because you're not the only one watching.
What the hell? What the fuck is that? What the fuck was that? Pardon my French, but... Did you see that?
Captured in the dead of night, this
I gotta see this
shows
again.
what first seems like a flickering shadow.
It's like one of those
cast by a street.
octopi...
But as the
Ooh.
camera pans, something appears on the rooftop. A figure, tall, lean, and oddly
I don't think so. I think it's on the wall,
creator
not the
claims he
rooftop,
stepped
because look at
outside
where the
and
light
thought
is.
something was watching him, so he grabbed his phone. Zoomed in, you can see shapes, humanoid outlines standing completely still, barely visible in the...
They look like they're moving.
In this world that we will never fully understand. We want answers.
Answers.
We have worked years to build our credibility,
Credibility.
our reputation. Working alongside the most renowned professionals in the field,
That's how my kids are.
capturing groundbreaking proof.
Did you guys hear about,
I can't give you an explanation. There are things in this world that we will never fully
Eric?
understand.
Is it Eric?
We want answers.
My gosh. The guy whose wife was trying to off him? That is sad. Aaron! Aaron. So Aaron married this cute chick, probably 10 or 12 years younger than him. And, yeah, she decided to contact a guy that serial killed his family, his mom, his dad, his brother. Now she's in jail.
I wish I was playing about that, but unfortunately I am not. In this room, I'm standing in right now.
More cool stuff?
We're having to clear it out, but I want to show y'all some of the coolest stuff that I own. First off,
I don't know if you saw the phone, but that was awesome.
this is an heirloom.
Ooh, it
Passed down
is.
in my family for several generations.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Very Indian in the cupboard. The china cabinet is really cool. The coolest thing is what was in it. Example 1, little tiny Coke bottles.
What?
It's teeny. They're actual glass. I bet this has cocaine in it. This is my
Probably.
great-grandmother's.
Let's test it.
Or brooch. Very beautiful.
Oh, worth a lot.
This is like a time capsule.
Oh my god. That's... All this stuff is worth a lot.
Knife and his dog tags.
Wow.
ID for where he worked and his watch. I never even met him. He was gone before I was born. But I have his
That's
stuff, and
amazing.
I love that. My great-grandpa's mason ring. I think that
Whoa.
says 32 degrees.
Shh. Don't tell nobody.
Old pictures of family members and the
I love
coolest of the
those.
Old pictures.
Oh, look at your baby.
That
Oh.
is my great-grandmother's baby picture, and it's on this like hard thing. Great-grandma, and she was just a little baby.
So
I have no
cute.
idea why this was in here, but it's like a tiny cast iron.
It's a little burner
What
thing.
is used for antique people. So cool.
To heat up something.
Right here might be one of the craziest things of all. This is Confederate money. Yeah, like from the Civil War.
Bitch is gonna be a millionaire, dude. Seriously.
$5 from the Republic of Texas, a $100 bill from the state of Louisiana. Look, you see it? The Confederate States of America. I own illegal
Oh my
timber.
God.
Look, more illegal timber.
And look, it looks brand new. Quit touching it with your fingers. Put it up.
I cannot believe my grandparents had this, or my great-grandparents. I don't even know where the heirloom cabinet started, but it's got so many cool things in it. Like, this is just
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
so much stuff right here. All of it heirlooms. But these is straight up blew my mind. What? Look, Bank of Chattanooga. And oh, I don't want to tear it. An Arkansas
careful.
Treasury warrant. I'm rich. If it was
You are.
one more thing, but I don't know if you can tell, but this is a photo. But it's like
It
on
is. It's a little negative photo.
metal. You can kind of vaguely see a woman and her babies. I have no idea which ancestor this is. I wish I knew who she was, but still, as a family member from a long, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, just wanted to show you all that because I thought it was really cool.
That is
If you haven't seen it in a
badass.
couple days, it's because I'm fixing my floor. Well, I'm not fixing my floor. I'm helping the men get ready to fix my floor because obviously I don't know how to fix a floor. I'm just a gal. Yeah, fingers crossed for that.
Hey, I fix all kinds of stuff.
Bye.
Bye.
Almost 15 million. Yeah, 15 million views in the last 30 days for me on Instagram. Actually, 14,941,000. That's a lot of views in a month on social media. Yeah. So obviously, yeah, my Instagram is cooking, baby. Cooking like beef stew. Not that beef stew. That one stays over my shoulder, just in case. And I'm not just on Instagram. I'm also on the TikTok with the same name, Joe Gillespie the Great. So if you ever want to find me, there you go. That's 2 places, which is 2 more than I let my relatives know. Till next time, which actually could be several times today, according to these numbers. I'll see ya, except it's more than likely you'll see me, but I'll look at you too, because I'll be staring at the phone, just like this. Shabadoo, me booshkies! Shabadoo!
Hello again, friend of a friend. I knew you well. Our common goal was waiting for the world to end. Now that the truth is just a rule that you command, you crack the whip, shape shift and trick the past.
Frankincense is really good for you and your eyeballs.
Even the comatose, they don't dance and tell. We live in cities you'll never see on screen. Not very pretty, but we sure them.
This woman right here is Dr. Amy Cohn. And recently people have been describing her as a lunatic. Yeah, a lunatic. Now, are people just being mean to Amy? I don't think so. Because after what Amy did, being called a lunatic...
Shame me, Amy.
So Amy had a boyfriend. Had a boyfriend. Not a husband. Not a husband. A boyfriend. And while they were no longer together, Amy was, let's say, not real happy about it. And Amy didn't like that her ex-boyfriend moved on. In fact, he got a new girlfriend. So Amy, who I'm guessing probably doesn't take no for an answer that much, decided
Or she never
to
heard no.
burn down the house of the new girlfriend's grandmother.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
The house of the grandmother of the new girlfriend. By the way, that new girlfriend's grandmother is 99 years old. So Dr.
No.
Amy, the aspiring arsonist here,
What? A
got
B-I-E-I-O.
arrested and put in jail for up to 2 years. Just goes to show you, Amy might be a little bit relentless, baby cakes. I ain't never calling her when I need to get a pimple popped. No way. Shabadoo booshkies. Shabadoo.
If you have any of these symptoms, you are cooked.
Your pencil is cooked. No.
I was sent some information recently about a former cult leader and possibly another cannibal in our little Ozark region of Missouri. And I want
In Missouri. Also, here in little tiny Bayfield, Colorado, where everything seems so nice and innocent, in the steeple of a church was hidden all kinds of KKK books, which showed all the members and all the activities, etc., which were found about, I'd say, 12 years ago. Seems like just yesterday, but there's a lot you don't know. I even know where the old hanging tree used to be. Can you believe it? And it makes me wonder, or used to make me wonder, when I'd go and investigate the cemetery here, why are there so many unknown places in the cemetery? How does that happen? Somebody had to know them. But perhaps it was somebody that came in that got hung or offed or whatever, and they didn't even think to check their credentials. I don't know. How does that happen? It's so weird. Somebody had to know who that was.
I want to share this with y'all, not just because it's an interesting story and a cautionary tale, but also as an appeal for information. This is Jeffrey Don Lundgren. He was born May 3rd, 1950 in Independence, Missouri. His family was very active in the RLDS Church, the Reorganized Church of Latter-day Saints, a splinter of the Mormon Church, which Independence is the site of the Independence Temple and is a major area for the RLDS, which is now known as the Community of Christ. Now, Jeffrey, or Jeff, didn't grow up with the greatest relationship with his parents, and later he even claimed to have been abused. He was described as a loner throughout his youth years, never had many friends, but while attending college at the Central Missouri State University, he hung out with a lot of other RLDS kids, and there
What is R?
He was from Max Creek.
What is RLDS? I know what FLDS is. That's the Fundamental Latter-day Saints, which take on multiple wives and are PODL files, if you know what I'm saying, and different things like that. What is the R? What is it? RFLDS? What is the RLDS? What the frack is that? I'm gonna have to Google it.
They began a relationship, and it wasn't long before Alice was pregnant. So the two dropped out of college and were married in 1970.
Why?
And on December 2nd,
Keep going.
1970, their first son, Damon, was born. Jeff enlisted in the Navy for a time before receiving an honorable discharge. While the couple were living in San Diego, where he was stationed, their second son, Jason, was born. By the time their daughter was born in 1979, the family had returned to Missouri. Even while living in California, both Jeff and Alice remained active in the RLDS.
What is that?
So when they moved back home, they returned to Independence. Jeff, however, could not hold a job. He was described as an arrogant and irresponsible man. Because he couldn't figure out how to support his own family, he was often angry, and he took that anger out on Alice. He began abusing his own wife and kids. Yet he was still invited to join the priesthood. But it was around this time that he'd begun to question the church's teachings. He especially despised their liberal ideas regarding women. So he ended up creating his own offshoot of the LDS Church. And they began holding study circles in his home. Members included several of his RLDS friends from college, and they were so impressed with Jeff's passion and his knowledge of scripture that they started to donate money to the Lundgren household in order to support the family.
Okay, I just looked it up, boys and girls, and this is what it says. RLDS stands for Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which was a religious denomination in the United States that is now known as the Community of Christ. Hold on. What? The Community of Christ is an international church that claims to proclaim Jesus Christ and restore the teachings of the Bible. Elaboration. The RLDS Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was founded in 1860 by Joseph Smith III, the son of Joseph Smith. How was he the third? Oh, yeah, maybe his grandpa was Joseph Smith. Founder of the original church. So he's like, my dad went right, let's do it like this. Split from LDS, the RLDS Church emerged as a separate entity from the main Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints after a succession crisis within the original church. Name change. The RLDS Church changed its name to the Community of Christ in 2001. What? Although the acronym RLDS is still sometimes used. Key references. The Community of Christ and the LDS Church share some similarities, but also have key differences, particularly in their views and succession, polygamy, and temple ordinances. The Community of Christ has a global presence with congregations and missions in various countries. Yeah, and don't mess with my ears. But maybe they are the FLDS fundamentalists.
It was only the beginning of what would become a full-fledged cult. One day, Jeff announced to his followers that the scriptures were commanding him to move to Kirtland, Ohio, where he would receive his true power from God. Kirtland is an important city for the LDS community. It was established by Joseph Smith and was the center of the LDS movement from 1831 to 1837. And the Kirtland Temple was the first of the Mormon temples. Once the Lundgrens moved, Jeff got a job as a tour guide at the temple. And just like in Independence, he began holding study circles in his home. And his group of followers grew. Some even moved in with the Lundgrens and turned over their entire paychecks to Jeff.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Even his followers from Missouri moved.
That's when you know it's a cult.
Jeff's family. By September of 1896, Jeff Lundgren had become a living prophet in the eyes of his followers. A rather dangerous concept in the Mormon faith, where a leader can become beyond reproach and demand unwavering loyalty, no matter how extreme the demand. And his teachings and ideas definitely became extreme, like the vision that he received that the group should seize the Kirtland Temple. But the group began to make elaborate plans to do just that. They mapped out the temple and the surrounding area, held military-style drills, and even created a hit list of RLDS church officials. But by September 1987, the church had gotten wind of Jeff's heretical teachings. He was stripped of his credentials, but he withdrew his own membership before he could be formally expelled from the church. Soon after, the family and its club moved to a farm on Chardon Road. And there, somehow, his little club continued to grow. But the violence and aggression of Jeff's teachings grew along with it. They all continued to plot their temple.
Oh my
But during
gosh.
this time, one member, Greg Curry, became increasingly concerned by the
These guys are having like orgies and shit.
relocated all the way to Buffalo, New York.
New
Fearing that
York.
if Jeff found him, that he would kill him. But when he reached New York, he contacted the FBI.
Why do they all look related?
Of Jeff's plans. The information was passed from the FBI to the Kirtland Police Department. And when Jeff realized that the police department was investigating him, he was enraged by what he viewed as a betrayal, and he became increasingly militant and paranoid. By this time, he was wearing only military fatigue. He carried a weapon everywhere and spoke of nothing but his mission to, quote, take his followers to see God after seizing the temple and killing everyone who opposed them. In the spring of 1989, Jeff pulled a few of his closest followers aside and told them that he received another vision from God, that they must all sacrifice the Avery family in order to achieve their goals. The Avery family, which is Dennis Avery, Cheryl Avery, and their 3 daughters, 15-year-old Trina, 13-year-old Becky, and 6-year-old Karen, had all been original members of Jeff's group back in Missouri and had actually sold off their family home there in order to follow Jeff to Ohio, where they turned over $10,000 to move into the Lundgren farm. But Jeff thought he deserved all of their money, and he had secretly come to dislike the Averys.
Give it all to me!
And contradicted him way too often. He told the others that the Averys were a
'Cause he's full of
sinner,
ish.
and that God required their sacrifice. The entire group was in on it. And they told the Averys to pack all their belongings for an extended wilderness retreat. And ever the loyal followers, they did. All while Jeff had 2 other men dig a 7-foot by 4-foot pit in the barn. On April 17th, 1989, the entire group sat down for one last dinner together, which everyone except the Averys knew. After the meal, Jeff had one of the men, Ron, lead each member of the Avery family to the barn, one at a
Oh my
time.
God.
Jeff shot them execution style and then threw them into that pit. With each shot, they had another man start up a chainsaw to cover up the sound. And the trust that each of the family members, especially the children, exhibited as they were being led to their literal execution is heartbreaking. Little 6-year-old Karen actually
Freaking
rode
demonic
on
shit.
shoulders, giggling as they went, just to be taken into that barn and killed alongside the rest of her family. When it was over and all the Averys were gone, Jeff had the other men cover them all with lime and then bury them, while Jeff, his son Damon, and the women disposed of all the Averys' belongings.
This guy's
Next day,
burning
on
in hell
April
right now.
18th, Jeff and the rest of the group actually did depart on the wilderness retreat. Jeff had them all leave Kirtland in little individual groups.
They could have just
all
left them
settled in
behind.
Pennsylvania before heading to a secluded campsite east of Davis, West Virginia. There, Jeff told everybody they were to wait on a sign from God. The group turned their little campsite into a full-blown military-style complex. The
Yeah.
men were instructed to use deadly force on anyone who tried to enter. And since over the years, Jeff and his followers had acquired quite an arsenal. He had even set up a anti-aircraft submachine gun in their camp to shoot down any police helicopters that may show up. This really
Wow.
shows how extreme this group got.
Yeah.
On a personal level,
Well, just look at the guy's face.
even more radical and cold-blooded, if that was possible. He ordered all of the men in the group to turn over their wives to him, to be cleansed by his seed, and made it clear that anyone who tried to leave would end up like the Averys. Eventually, the group's money and supplies ran out, and the group returned to Missouri. But they didn't go back to the farm. Jeff decided that the group should split up and then reconvene in the spring. So he instructed each of the members to spread out and find a job and to save all their money to turn into him when they all met back up in the spring. But this split actually came as a relief to several members who
Yeah.
really wanted out but feared for their life. Notably, one man, Keith Johnson, who had joined the group in Ohio with his wife, Kathy, who Jeff had taken as his second wife. Full of resentment towards Jeff and regret about the Avery family. By that December, Keith couldn't live with it anymore, and he went to the police. The Kirtland PD immediately
Oh my
tried to locate
God.
the Avery family. When they couldn't, on January 3rd, they followed a map drawn by Keith to the old barn, and there they found the mass grave of the family. When the news broke that the bodies of the Avery family had been found, other members of Jeff Lundgren's club came forward, and warrants went out for the arrest of the others. 13 members of the group ended up standing trial. Alice Lundgren received 140
Sick
years.
MFers.
Damon, their oldest son,
Demon.
20 years to life. And Jeffrey Lundgren, well, he was sentenced to the death penalty. Other members
Good.
received varying sentences. Ron was sentenced to 50 years, and 5 others were sentenced to 20 years. Most of them have all been released in late 2010 or early 2011. Jeffrey Lundgren was executed by lethal injection.
Look at his
on October 17th,
face.
2006. And afterwards,
Blech.
nobody came to claim him. So he was buried in the cemetery of the Southern
Bye,
Ohio
Felicia.
facility. And after their parents' and their brother's incarceration, the remaining Lundgren children lived in Warrensburg, Missouri. Though it appears on record that one Lundgren son grew up and relocated to Lebanon, Missouri. And I was told by a close, trusted contact that word on the street of Max Creek, where Alice Lundgren was from, is that there was some type of cannibal link, either inside this group or this family. But I'm not sure where that comes from, since this crime on paper does not appear to have anything to do with that. But word on the
I heard
street
another
is word on the
story
street.
in Missouri
Sometimes the streets be nowhere.
that was about that.
Cannibal this close to Windyville is of obvious interest to me. If any of y'all know anything about this, you should definitely let me know.
I gotta look up that other story and let her know. Look at my gorgeous friend JTO. She keeps showing up on my timeline. Aw. Okay, let's go. I wish I knew how long it was. Outdoorsman, what's the creepiest thing you've seen, experienced in the woods? Not, I saw something in the dark. I mean things that make your skin crawl and contemplate giving it up.
Out in the low country, when the sun sets and the woods fall silent, that's when the real hunters start to move. One man was tracking a hog when he heard it, the sharp, sickening pop of jaws snapping shut. But it wasn't alone. 2 more from different directions. No footsteps, no rustling brush, just snapping. He froze, finger on the trigger, as the air grew still and thick, like something was watching. Then the smell hit him. Copper, wet fur, rot. He backed
Ooh.
away slow, trying not to make a sound.
Yeah, blood, wet fur, rot.
ATV, he heard one last pop, inches behind him. He turned. Nothing there, just claw marks and tracks that didn't belong to a hog. Or anything he knew. Appalachian lore warns us, never call someone by their name in the woods. One guy was hunting with his father deep in the high country
I didn't know that.
when he heard a voice
And I'm
in the
from
trees.
Appalachia, America.
Son, over here. It sounded just like his dad. But when he turned, the man was standing
Mimic.
beside him. Pale, silent. They didn't speak, didn't move. Just turned and walked back to the truck. Later, his dad told him, they can't take what they don't know. That's why we don't say names out here. He's never hunted since. And if you ever hear your name whispered in the forest, don't answer. Because what's calling you might not let you leave.
Don't do it. Alrighty then. Well, on that note, we're going to go to our second music break. This break we have King Cinnamon from Biafra, Nigeria. And then we have Mr. Hosni Bronx, who originally hails from Jamaica, but he also is from the Bronx of New York. He goes back and forth. And he also has members of Bob Marley and the Wailers with him. So he's got some of the Wailers in his band. So that's pretty badass. But anywho's, I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Don't know. Oh, I don't know.
To you, this is something new. It's something you wear. Would you like me to put it on? I'm gonna put it on now. Do you see what it is now? If there's anyone here, are you from the field? We're really gonna do it in a little bit. That's alright. We got a lot more.
I was about to say you probably get more stuff in here than.
Surprisingly not.
Really?
Yeah, we got a lot of we got more stuff than we usually do for the assist method.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird. It's like beating.
Try this one on. You have 4 or 2.
I have it.
Okay, you can try 2 too and see how it works.
Also, I heard something. I heard something. I'm not sure what it was. It kind of sounded like a I don't know if it's
Alright, I hope you guys get something.
We did good.
Little midness of a... What? Bup, bup.
So to them, I guess it is something. I was expecting like something like horror, because. Wait, ask her.
So, Justice was asking if he could take the talker or the thingy out to the ranch so that we could do it there.
The talker, not the SB7.
Okay, so we can.
So not the radio with the antenna, but
okay.
The one I was just showing them, 2 or 4.
Not really. By the time we get back to the house, it's gonna be like. So, yeah, we gave you enough time to do much anyway. We're getting up early tomorrow.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Let me turn this down. Right. Anyways, right, let's get back into our TikToks. I had a video for after, like for the third hour, but I really don't. Let me fix this part. It's kind of willy-nilly. And I got some flack for getting ready for the show, and it's like, whatever. If I was going somewhere, maybe I'd get noticed up too, but otherwise I'm cleaning house and feeding chickens, so give me a fucking break, bro. I'm just kidding. Alright. Let's go ahead and share this and see what else we have. No, we gotta make it bigger. There we go. Ooh, Outdoorsman was the creepiest thing. I think we watched that.
Out in the low country, when the sun sets and the woods fall silent,
South Catalina Island. There's this guy, and he's doing excavations, digs up tons of graves, and he's finding 7 to 9 foot giants.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was UCLA and the Smithsonian peer review his research and dismiss it. I forget the words they used, but basically, like, he was making a mess of it. He didn't catalog it correctly. He was crude in how he dug it up. But the dude is displaying huge giant bones. It's like, okay, so the research was bad, but can you
Smithsonian
then
always
step in and
messes
do
it up.
something?
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they seized it all.
Yeah, typical!
If this dude is making stuff up,
What time was that again?
And sold it to the Vatican.
So this is like all the same
Yeah.
time frame as
The man's name is Glidden. He conducted extensive excavations across the Channel Islands, claimed to have opened over 800 burial sites and unearthed the remains of thousands of Native Americans. He found dozens of skeletons he said were well over 7 feet tall, some reaching over 9 foot.
this time frame. It seems like people were starting to explore the U.S. more,
Yeah.
like at least archaeologists.
And they had to put a cap on it real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because Levelock Cave, that was not discovered by like archaeologists. That was discovered by people harvesting guano.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of these things were found by just regular, ordinary people.
Just when you think we have seen it all
Yes.
from Zuck, we are now finding out that he suggested wiping everyone's Facebook friends and making users start again to boost the platform's relevance. Bro, just think about how many times Zuck has said the core mission for all of his platforms is to connect people. So this shocking revelation came after he took to the witness stand on Monday, which if you didn't know, the US government currently has a lawsuit against Meta for anti-competitive practices, and the trial to force Zuck into selling Instagram and WhatsApp begun this week. Now in this trial, a bunch of leaked emails were submitted as evidence, one of which entailed his wild strategy that he proposed to boost Facebook's tanking relevance. It read, one potentially crazy idea is to consider wiping everyone's graphs and having them start again. Fortunately though, for everyone's parents, this idea was met with pushback from other executives and it was never carried out. But it does show you the lengths that Zuck is willing to go to remain on top.
What a
Just when you
douchebag.
think we have seen it all from...
So I'm walking around the property, and I look up the hill, and I say, well, that's not supposed to be there.
at first it just looked like a crack in the hillside. Maybe the aftermath of a storm, maybe nothing. But geologists in the comments say otherwise. One called it slumping, a quiet sign that the earth has become saturated, unstable, and
Is it a little crack up there?
away. Others
Let me know.
warn it's a landslide in the making, with every heavy rainfall
I'm going to
closer
talk about it, but
disaster.
not show it.
But some viewers saw something else. A
I
faint
don't like
dark
this, the
line
way it's
across
bouncing
landscape,
around. It's pissing
like a
me
scar
off.
that shouldn't be there. A few even mentioned past videos of similar events where the poster vanished. Comments whispered about fault lines, deep earth shifts, even portals. Because what if this isn't just geology? What if it's something waking up beneath the surface? Thousands are asking, what exactly are we looking at? But the more you stare, the more unnerving it gets. It's not just a crack, it's a divide. Perfectly straight, cutting through the terrain like something forced
There's
its way
lots of
through
those
from
out there.
below. Some viewers joke it's Stranger Things, a portal to the upside down. Others mention the outer
Upside
range,
down.
a fictional hole that devours time, space, and people. But here's the terrifying part. Earthquakes
I have a client, and I'm trying to get out there, but I'm trying to get team members together, and they're like, Saturday and Sunday. I can't do it Saturday and Sunday because I'm doing a podcast. have a couple people that can go, at least 3 people that can go during the week. So just going to put it together. We're going to do it. But yeah, this guy's talking about things disappearing, things like threads and different things like that being left behind. Leprechauns near the Utah-Colorado line. Near Monticello. Also, this reminded me of when he said he went out for a walk. I don't know what he was looking for or what was behind that, but he saw a place that didn't exist. And he was going to go into it, but he's like not having enough water or food or anything to go that way. He was running out of water and stuff, so he decided to go home. When he came back to find it, it wasn't there. So it makes sense.
Earthquakes have been shaking this region. The plates are moving, and now the ground is too. One commenter said it best. You shouldn't be there, my friend. Run. Because if this rift widens, it's not just the land that will fall. It's whatever's been sealed beneath it, breaking free.
So I'm walking around the property, and I look up the hill, and I say,
There's stories on Catalina Island of giants. They used to have Native American remains that they would display. You know, they're burials that have been dug up. So they passed a law that makes it illegal to display Native American remains. But what is Native American?
Exactly.
And so now it's illegal to display what may or may not have been found.
That was the loop around that law that came out that any Native American artifacts, they go back to the tribes with the exception of the Smithsonian. They're the only exception to where they don't have to send back Native American artifacts.
They're villains.
Dude.
They're villains.
Yeah, they're assholes.
True.
Yes.
I can't believe I can't believe
We talked about
this
it a while ago, but
I can't believe that. That's insane. That's criminal.
There's stories on
It is.
Oh, can someone, please, just one of you, just blink already. The White House has just announced that China will now be facing a 245% tariff as a result of their retaliations against the US. And what are those, you may ask? Well, China's ordered all their airlines to stop future Boeing deliveries and banned the purchase of US aircraft parts, which, keep in mind, is one of America's biggest exports. On top of that, Hong Kong has suspended postal services to the US, meaning they are now refusing to handle any packages coming from or going to the United States. And then, for the biggest blow, China has now paused the exports of 7 critical rare earth minerals. That is significant because these rare earth minerals are essential for making so many things, like smartphones, cars, and even weapons like drones and missiles. And why that's such a big deal is because China holds a near monopoly over the production process of these minerals, a staggering 92% of global output. So you can look at that in 2 ways. One, that's crazy. Why would Trump pick a fight with China when they have that on the US? And 2, the US should not rely that much on another country, especially for something so critical, so it needs to change. Both of those ways of looking at it are simultaneously true. However, that doesn't mean that America doesn't have anything on China. A massive 1/5 of their entire economy is made up of exports, and China has around 20 million workers involved in US-bound exports alone. So if US buyers dry up because of tariffs, the hit to China's economy will be significant. But I mean, at this point, it hardly matters which side suffers more as a result of this trade war. Because ultimately, when the rich lose investments, the poor lose their homes. So, please. Oh, can someone, please, just one of you, just blink already. The White House is just...
According to leaked CIA documents, the Ark of the Covenant has already been found. If you don't know what the Ark is, it was featured in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark with Indiana Jones. What the Ark actually is, it's a container where the 10 Commandments, the rocks, the 10 Commandments that God wrote to Moses are kept. And supposedly, according to legend, the Ark with the 10 Commandments inside has power. The power given by God to Moses on those stones. People have been looking for the Ark of the Covenant because of this power for centuries. And now because of these leaked CIA documents, it seems like it may have already been found. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but according to the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, any army, no matter what, with the Ark in front of it is invincible. So you can see why people might want the thing. Okay, Bushkies, let me know what you think. In the comment section. Shabadoo!
Shabadoo! Want to hear a story? This story is going to take us to Erling, Iowa, and the
Oh, yeah,
terrifying
girl.
story of the Erling exorcism. Erling is a little bitty city with a population of only around 400 people. It was first platted in 1882, and by 1892, St. Joseph's Catholic Church had been built. And shortly after, a schoolhouse and a convent for the Franciscan sisters of the parish was also built. And that convent became well known as the location of the 1928 historic exorcism that inspired the movie The Exorcist. This is a very strange story, and its detailed documentation makes it even more terrifying. In 1928, Father Reisinger arrived in Erling, and he paid a visit to his longtime friend, Reverend Joseph Steiger, the pastor of St. Joseph's. And Father Reisinger brought with him a strange request to transport a woman from Wisconsin that he believed was possessed by the devil to Erling to stay in the convent while he performed an exorcism. Reverend Steiger here was taken aback by the request, not only because why, but also because he harbored a secret fear of exorcisms and of demon possession. And the Reverend didn't really want to be around that kind of thing. But Father Reisinger, who had 19 exorcisms under his belt, explained that a 40-year-old woman, who he never named, had been under the observation of the church for several years. She'd had a normal, respectable, and pious early life. But around 14, unusual experiences started to manifest. Much as she wanted to pray and to go to church, she seemed in the clutches of some mysterious power that would not even allow her to say the name of Jesus Christ. And sinister inner voices kept suggesting disagreeable things to her and tried their utmost to arouse thoughts of the most shameful type within her and tried to induce her to do things unmentionable. He said the woman was in despair and thought she was going insane. She'd visited doctors who all said she was in good health, so she sought out the help of a priest who maintained a healthy amount of skepticism for a few years. But it had become evident to him that some type of supernatural powers were at play. The woman had become able to understand languages she'd never heard or read. And when the priest blessed her in Latin, she not only knew what he said, she also became enraged and foamed at the mouth. And she knew instantly if she was handed an object that had been secretly blessed, and showed great aversion to it, but could be handed any ordinary object and not react at all. Finally, the priest in her parish had contacted the bishop, who'd entrusted the case to Father Reisinger. He wanted to bring the woman to Erling in order to protect her identity, as her own town and people may not take kindly to someone who had been touched by evil. By taking her away and performing this exorcism secretly, once healed of her affliction, she could return home and live a normal life. And they did protect this woman's identity very carefully. Still today, no one knows who she actually was. Her name was recorded only as Mary X. And today she is thought to have been a woman named Anna Eklund, which some believe is another fake name for a woman named Emma Schmidt. But there's two Emma Schmidts she could have been. But either way, we will call her Anna since that's the name that's most commonly used. The reluctant Reverend agreed.
Oh no.
If you puncture a lung, air will move in and out of the wound as you breathe. When this happens, it can fill the space in your chest, putting pressure on your heart. To stop it, find an airtight material like plastic and use it to cover the wound. Next, tape it down on 3 sides. This stops air from getting sucked in, but allows it to escape. And lay down on your wounded side to keep your chest under pressure as you wait for help. If you puncture a lung, air will move in and out.
Even the comatose, they don't dance and tell. We live in cities you'll never see on screen. Not very pretty, but we sure know how to run. Even the
Hello, beautiful J-Toe.
I found this out recently. This man was a cosmonaut for the USSR. His name was Sergei Krikalev. He was the last citizen of the USSR.
Okay.
He said the Russian space station was like his home.
Couldn't get enough of it.
He was sent up there for a mission May 1991. And while in orbit, he witnessed the Soviet Union dissolve. And what's scary...
He's in space this time.
He's in space, and he's up there, and all of a sudden, Soviet Union is dissolved.
It's kaput.
And so the space program was split then between Russia and Ukraine. They were scrambling and like they almost pretty much forgot about him. And at the time, the space station down in Russia, they went on strike for pay. So people weren't even working.
Oh no.
He ended up spending, I believe, 311 days in the space
Oh,
station,
man.
not knowing when he was going to come back.
Almost a full year. Are they in communication with him at this time?
They are, but it's like brief and like non-consistent because the Soviet
Poor
Union is
guy.
dissolved, so there's just chaos everywhere.
No one knows who exactly like can claim him, and
he eventually gets a ride back into Russia, but he was the last citizen of the USSR.
That is so.
It is hard to believe, but Joe Biden is officially back. They really won't let that bro retire. Because for the first time since his presidency, he spoke publicly. And he immediately jumped straight into one of the most heated political fights right now, Social Security. He also still has enough in him to throw out shots at Trump, saying that he's amazed at how much destruction could be caused in such a short period of time. Oh, and after this speech, bro is still not even close to being done. Reports say that he's currently putting his thoughts together for a third book, that he's signed to a talent agency in LA, so there's rumors about a potential involvement in
I heard
media
about that
or
shit.
entertainment projects. And he's even begun fundraising efforts to build the Joseph E. Biden Library in his home state of Delaware. He even said that he's considering running again in 2028. I'm kidding. It is hard to believe, but Joe Biden is officially back. They really won't let that bro retire.
Pregnancy is hard.
I think I like when it rains. You told me to go to the light. I think.
Ooh. What's it trying to say, boo? What's it trying to say?
Quantanautica, the app that dares you to explore the unknown, using quantum coordinates to lead users to random, often eerily significant locations. But when one user opened it in the Appalachian backwoods, what they found wasn't random at all. Deep in the hills, beneath the lizard-calling spring winds and ancient tree lines, it brought them somewhere familiar. Not because they'd been there, but because something was waiting. They didn't speak, didn't move, just stood at the edge of the trees, watching. The app had asked them to manifest answers, but the only thing they left with was silence, and the feeling of being followed. There's a reason locals don't wander too deep into the hollers at night.
So last night in Reno, Nevada, where I live, this was spotted up in the sky.
Oh,
A
it's just
lot of people
SpaceX.
saw this thing. In fact, a bunch of them contacted me afterwards. But that's not the whole story. There's something weird going on with this one. After that thing shot through the sky, multiple areas in the south side of Reno had power outages. I mean blackouts. Over 5,000 homes at least were affected. So here's the deal. This thing could have been a meteor, could have been something else, don't really know. Shoots through the sky over Reno, Nevada. Bunch of people see it. People tell me they saw it. And then there's power outages all over the place towards the south
How does that
part
make
of town.
sense?
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not the biggest believer in coincidence. And the timing of these two events, the thing shooting through the sky and the power outages, little fishy. So my question is, even if you're not from this area, or you didn't even hear about it, do you think it's possible these two events could be connected? Because I'm telling you, I think it could be. Okay, Shabadoo Booskies, Shabadoo.
Last chance to get this for Doja on a double disc.
Want to hear a story? This story is going to take us right outside Anderson, Indiana, home of the Pukwudgies. Right outside Anderson is Mound State Park, a neat little state park that contains 10 unique earthworks. The largest mound, called the Great
So
Mound, is believed to
pretty.
have been constructed around 160 BC, and it aligns with the sun during the summer and winter solstices. Besides being a cool place to walk around and get a glimpse of ancient history, according to legend, there's something else you may be able to see here. Pukwudgies. Pukwudgies are said to be 2 to 3 feet tall, goblin-like or gnome-like creatures. Little people with a troll-like appearance. And they have been depicted numerous different ways. But historically speaking, they're described as having blue-gray skin and large noses, ears, and fingers.
Mine's
They
were kinda
often have
green-gray.
or wear, depending on the legend.
But I don't think they were Pukwudgies. They didn't have any hair.
Pukwudgie means person of the wilderness, or could
And
be
they had
translated as little wild men of the
ears in that.
forest. And legends of them are found in various Native American tribes. The Lenape people who inhabited this area of Indiana long before the arrival of the Europeans spoke of them. as did the Wampanoag of New England and the Algonquin tribes around the Great Lakes. In the old stories, Pukwudgies could be good or bad. Around the Great Lakes, they're considered mostly tricksters, but not necessarily malicious or bad. But over in Massachusetts, they were considered the ancient enemies of the Wampanoag.
Massachusetts.
Nasty, mean little things known to kidnap children and cause harm to people just for the fun of it. But here in Indiana, they're considered more neutral. Whether you got the good or bad side of them really depended on the person. Pukwudgies are very similar to the fairies or elves of European folklore. They are magical creatures capable of shape-shifting into animals.
I would say
and
like
camouflaging
gnomes.
themselves to blend in with their surroundings.
Or
They can
dwarfs.
conjure fire and wipe human memory using only their eyes. The common thread across all stories is their very mischievous nature. They're notorious pranksters and enjoy playing little harmless tricks like snatching keys out of pockets or confusing the trails to get people lost. And it's said they get a good laugh out of leading people into dangerous situations just to see how they'll react. But in many of the stories from Mound State Park, they seem mostly curious about people and are said to be benevolent and helpful to people who react to them with kindness. And more importantly, people who show respect for their forest. However, across all stories, it's also said if you anger a Pukwudgie, they can be lethal. Some are said to carry small spears or bows where they shoot poison arrows. It's said to even irritate one could be deadly, as these little guys will gleefully lead you right off a cliff. Pukwudgies are not solitary creatures. They live in groups in their own little bands or tribes. So to piss off one is to piss off many. Pukwudgies are also said to be extremely vindictive. They never forget a face or a slight. And they'll go as far as to follow you home to continue their torment. But like I said, they never forget a face. And people who encounter them in a positive manner are very likely to see one again at some point in their lives. This happened to amateur actor and author Paul Startzman, who claimed to encounter these little people several times in his life. And he wrote of his and others' experiences with them in his book, The Pukwudgies of Indiana.
Are they really
He claimed
Pukwudgies
his
though,
first
dude?
encounter happened in
We're in
1927.
the same
He was
neighborhood.
10 years old. On nightfall, he was walking alone on a trail when he spotted a little man that was just kind of standing there watching him. He described him.
So he's in Kentucky calling them Pukwudgies. And then there's also a group that were calling them Kentucky, what was it? Kentucky Goblins. I always thought of them as like, they look like gremlins, the ones that I saw. They didn't have hair, they had the slick skin, which was a greenish gray color, and their ears were pretty big, but not as big as gremlins, so, you know, kind of gremlinish, but not. They sounded the same, they looked basically the same, except for the ears were shorter.
As half his
And that was
size,
in
with
Arkansas.
large ears that stuck out of dull blonde hair that laid on his head like a helmet. In his book, he also interviewed a woman who lived in a nursing home in Anderson, and she also had encountered the Pukwudgies more than once. And she too was a child the first time. She said she was playing alone in the area of the park when she claimed she was approached by a group of little people who seemed curious about her and what she was doing. And this lady said that they all had high-pitched voices and spoke in a strange language. And when she was older, she encountered them again. There have been many more encounters with many more people, but not all of them are as pleasant. One woman claimed the creatures followed her and kept peering in her windows at night, even after she moved to get away from them. She was terrified, and their horrifying nighttime visits didn't stop until she completely left the area. While there isn't said to be...
And mine was terrifying at night because laying in bed, as usual, I can't go to sleep. This has been going on my whole freaking life as far as I can remember. I've had insomnia where I go to bed at 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. Depends on what's going on, what's happening, what I hear. And tinnitus doesn't really help it, but I don't know where I was going with this. Yeah, these guys, it wasn't every night for me. It was just one night. I snuck down to the window, I looked out, I saw them, and then they all stopped. And as soon as they did that, I flung myself back in the bed, covered up, put the sheets up to here. Because sheets were my protection. I heard them scratch up the wall, look through the window. Back and forth to each other. You can see their shadows on the wall, like they're looking back and forth, chattering. Then all of a sudden you hear them down the wall to my brother's room. Unfortunately, my brother didn't have it just that one night. He had it every night until the night My grandparents took him by each arm and looked in the direction that these little fuckers were coming to get him, and he just collapsed. Because they had him by each arm. They allowed him to be caught. I don't know what they're going to face on the other side for that, but that to me is demonic. That to me is evil. For you to allow that for your grandson to be caught by those MFers was not cool. Sorry.
A ton of puckwudgies in Indiana. Legend has long
Yeah.
held that there's a band of them that live inside the forests of Mound State Park. Some even claim it became a state park to protect them, a kind of puckwudgie haven. And maybe that's all they knew to do after the amusement park that once sat where Mound State Park is between 1897 and 1929 was forced to close due to not only the Great Depression, but according to legend, also the constant sabotage and accidents caused by the disapproving puckwudgie population. And puckwudgie sightings still continue in the park to this day. Have any of y'all ever been to Mound State Park, and have you seen a puckwudgie? Let me know.
Want to go?
He loves me, I love him. Look at you, just look at you now. You're so embarrassing. Go cry when no one he loves.
Hey guys, hey, happy Friday. This is for my Missouri friends, or my Arkansas and Oklahoma friends too, my Ozark friends. I'm in the process of recreating some of the Ozark series videos to move over to
girl,
my
I gotta
website.
contact
Haven't
you.
posted there in a really long time, so if you follow.
Let me make this bigger for a second so I can see what the name is. Amber Bowden Vance. I gotta write this down so I can contact her. You want to know my stories. Hashtag Amber Bowden Vance. This time I'm going to put a date on it for 1925. It's going to be 420 soon, just so you know. Let's go, girl.
You followed me there and you're wondering if I'm ever going to use it, I will. I plan on using it. But yeah, I'm getting ready to move that info over and make those videos. So I've been going over a lot of my notes and my information I've collected over the past however long I've been doing this. I realized in the process of that and printing out a bunch of stuff that I've missed a lot of emails. So please don't be surprised if you get a random email reply from me however many months after you sent me one. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm a super disorganized person, let's be honest. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of that.
ADHD.
Like, why is Amber being a big fat weirdo? And, emailing me back 6 months after I emailed her. The answer to that is I suck. And give y'all a heads up that if you don't already follow that YT and you want to, you should do that. Same username as here, Amber Bowden Vance. And I will be recreating all the Ozark series over there with some additional information that I didn't realize that I had. So that's exciting, right? Makes up for me not replying to y'all all this time. I'm so sorry, I love you. Anyway.
You can't make this stuff up.
What? Do you hear that noise?
No one's driving.
In the dead cold
Oh
of the
my
winter, something
gosh.
strange rolls along the snow-covered tracks near Plymouth. No engineer in sight, no footsteps nearby. Just the distant hum of a train engine, coming closer. Locals swear it's just a line runner, a utility engine meant to keep tracks active. But this one, it keeps coming back. No visible operator, no signs of refueling. Some claim to see a shadowy figure through the frosted windows, then it's gone. But the eerie part? Footprints inside the engine cab, leading nowhere. One viewer says, ghost trains don't leave prints. Another spotted a figure, wearing a hat. But when the train passed, there was no one inside. And yet, the engine was warm to the touch, like it had just been started. If this is a hoax, it's a disturbingly good one. But if it's not, then someone, or something, has claimed the old railway for itself. There's something off about this train. Every video
Guys, about a lot of trains. Oh, that's badass. I want one of those. Can I have one of those? Hell yeah.
Let me show you something. See this video in the center, right there, with no views? That's a video I made 16 days ago about Tiffany Gomez, otherwise known as the Crazy Plane Lady. Remember over a year ago she was on a plane and she said, "That guy's not there"? Well, yeah, a couple weeks ago, she made a tweet. It was kind of funny, and I made that video about it. Except TikTok has had that video under review now for 16 days. Yeah, you heard me, 16 days. So usually when I get a video that goes under review, I just delete it right away. Because I don't even want the hassle. But this time I realized there was nothing wrong with that video at all. So I made a decision that I told my son about, that no matter what, I wasn't going to take that thing down till they made their review. Which they haven't yet, and it's been 16 days. What the hell is going on here on TikTok? What's going on? Okay, Mooshkies, I just wanted to share my story with you. Shabadoo! Let me show you.
Double discount on the Fodoja run.
Even the comatose, they don't dance and tell. We live in cities, you'll never see on screen. Very pretty, but we sure know how to run. Even the
Speaking of dragon sickness, Ivan the Terrible, the first Tsar of Russia, he also created Russia's first secret police, nicknamed the Children of Darkness.
Cool.
They could go into a house, they could burn your house, kill you, do whatever. But it has been rumored that Ivan the Terrible had a secret library. But this library supposedly was created by his grandfather, Ivan III, with a few books, and then Ivan the Terrible collected more, but it was very secretive, and they don't know where it is today. They've never found it. Supposedly, it contains ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian manuscripts, occult and esoteric texts, and texts allegedly from Atlantis.
Please be real. Please be real.
When I first heard about it, I'm like, okay, this seems like another like conspiracy. Like, oh, did you know there's a secret library from Ivan the Terrible? But there's some credibility to it because since the 1600s, basically anyone that has been ruling over Russia, the government, treasure hunters, they've been looking for this library. Even the Vatican, they've been in search for this lost library. And so to this day, no one knows where it is. Some speculate that it's like in the wilderness in Siberia, something that's under the Kremlin, but either way, no one has found it.
It's got to be underground.
What if we find it? It's all Twilight.
Speaking of dragon sickness.
Okay, breaking news. The UK's Supreme Court has just reached a ruling on the legal definition of what is a woman. Just moments ago, the court unanimously determined that the words woman and sex shall refer to biological sex and not gender identity. The court said that any other interpretation would make the law incoherent and impractical. They did say, however, to not see this as a triumph for one side or the other, and stressed that the law still gives trans people protection against discrimination. Now, you might not think that cementing a legal definition of something like a woman would change much, but this could actually influence broad-ranging policies that we all experience in our day-to-day life, like sports participation, prison placements, bathroom access, single-sex changing rooms, healthcare rights, rules at school, policies at work, and the list goes on. But ultimately, what do you guys think? Do you agree with the UK Supreme Court ruling or not? Okay,
He sat by his best friend's grave. This isn't just a story about a cat and a dog, it's about heartbreak, loyalty, and something deeper. After a beloved dog passed away, his best friend, a cat, was never the same. He sat silently by the small grave day after day, barely moving. His ears were forward, posture calm, but his eyes? Empty. The family thought maybe he was saying goodbye, but as the hours passed, it became clear. He wasn't leaving. Then, just days later, the cat was hit by a car. Some call it coincidence. Others say it was broken heart syndrome. Yes, animals can die from it too. Whether you believe in souls or science, one thing is certain. He waited until he couldn't wait anymore. And maybe, Just maybe. He crossed the rainbow bridge to be with his best friend. They say animals don't grieve.
China has entered the era of dark factory.
Who has? China. Dark factory.
It's a fully automated factories with no workers and no lights.
Because they don't need them because they're robots.
And the factories run 24/7 in the dark.
Dude, imagine just walking in there, pitch dark, and you just hear all the noises.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Look at your...
Whoa.
Are these cars?
Those are robots.
No, what are they making?
Shut up. Isn't that crazy though? It's super creepy.
Yeah, I don't like that, man.
It's very Matrix feeling.
It's kind of cool though when they're doing the zapping and you can see it like a fireworks show.
That's all we care about at the end of the day. It's fun though.
Bro, what the hell is going on in France right now? The reports are saying that over the past few nights, in prisons across the country, they were hit by what officials are calling coordinated attacks. And we're talking like automatic weapons being fired at these prisons. They've got pictures of bullet holes in walls and glass doors. They're blowing up cars and even threatening prison officers at their home. And this is not just like one or two. These are prisons throughout the country in several different cities. The attackers apparently left behind the tag DDPF, and so now that's got France's anti-terror office in on the investigation. Now, the wildest part about this is that authorities believe that these are intimidation attempts, these attacks, and apparently they're in response to a recent government crackdown on what officials are calling a tsunami of cocaine entering France right now. But gangs, well, what we believe to be gangs, retaliating like this, that's like some cartel level stuff. Absolutely wild. Like, I'll keep you guys updated. Bro, what the hell is going on in France right now? The reports are saying that...
Louder! To the window! To the window! To the walls! To the walls! To the sweat drip down my balls! To all you bitches, crawl! All CCs for the... All CCs go bam! To the window! To the walls! Louder!
Double discount on the oil of...
We got some weird UFO shenanigans going on. We sure do. I don't know if you see it, but I do. There's something strange up there in the sky. If I circle it, it might make it a little easier to spot. Yeah, and when you look closer up, it's strange, baby cakes. Now look, there's a lot of stuff happening up in the sky lately. And it's not all Starlink or the Silver Surfer. So let's look a bit closer and see if we can... Okay, here it is closer, and it's like a blue line of lights. That's what it looks like to me. But I, Joe, with the giant brain of cheese, has decided, in all of my pearls of wisdom, to zoom in even closer. That is not a Starlink, and it's definitely weird. And it was seen up in the sky, way, way up in the sky, by hundreds and hundreds of people. Or at least 7. So what do you think about that I just showed you, huh? 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 Let me know in the comment section, Booshkies. Shabadoo!
Even the comatose, they don't dance and tell. We live in cities you'll never see on screen or film.
UFO psionic contact. It's all over the news right now, and there's video footage to back it up. The Skywatcher team is using telepaths to remote view or use meditation techniques in order to summon these UFOs, and then they're showing up and capturing the footage. You're probably asking yourself, I can't even meditate. How am I supposed to get into UFO contact or psionics? When you try to meditate, your head can be full of all kinds of mental chatter, and you can get lost in there, almost like the Truman Show or the Matrix, where you don't know where to even begin, and your head can be like a big cloud where you have visualizations, mental chatter, and all kinds of confusion. It can be really difficult to even know where to get started, let alone getting into psionics and advanced levels of training. You might even be a little bit scared because of the media and culture and different religious customs. They all teach us that this kind of stuff can get you into trouble. You can get possessed or get demons attached to you, or terrifying and bad things can happen. And honestly, that has not been my experience. And I have been down this road, and I know that it can be very confusing. There can be a lot of different teachers, a lot of different methods, and they can fill your head up with a whole bunch of different ideas. And whether you need them or not is a very confusing thing. When I started on this journey a long time ago, I was extremely overweight. I was 400 pounds, and I had no idea where to get started, but I stuck with it. I started learning basic meditation, and then over the course of time, I went from 400 pounds, I lost 175 pounds, and I reclaimed my life, and it was like a waking up from hypnosis. And I became someone who started going and exploring these mysteries, not just within myself, but all over the world. And I have now, over the last 4 years, have helped an expanded team build a whole international program that is related to psionics and capturing the proof of this phenomenon. So I've
Major double discount on this facility.
You're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to a dead and buried on the edge of your night.
And in that survey, what we found is that there is some kind of highly conductive mass with a unique shape from between 1 and 200 feet underground.
When we were passing under here, when we were up here, we were hitting metal, but we were passing under the object, and the word, the manta ray.
Whoa.
He said.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, we've been told that there is a manta ray under here. Exact
shape of a manta ray, but being a craft.
Yeah.
A manta ray. They literally said manta ray.
Who said that, and what technology did they use?
These are people from Bigelow's team that has leaked information to us that looked through files from when they were up here.
Are you kidding? Right. That is such a remarkable coincidence.
What's incredible is that we had just learned about it. It just sort of just all came together. Y'all didn't front load him with that.
No, that came out of absolute nowhere. Why? Jeff and Carl didn't know why it had that nickname. We had never heard that before until this exact investigation.
This is startling.
Oh, yeah.
This is so startling. I think the fact that a completely independent third party conjured up the same term is beyond coincidence.
During that projection, we identified an ultra low frequency that was emanating from the area, 68 hertz. We took that, turned it around, and put it back into the environment by projecting it out of our own tone generator. When we did that, we actually saw a change in the RF spectrum where the original signal seemed to intensify.
So it's almost as if you're getting a response. There is an answer, if you will, coming back.
That's what it felt like we were doing. We're putting out something and we're getting something back.
It really does look like some type of communication.
But whatever this thing was, it completely wreaked havoc on all of our technical equipment. On 2 separate occasions, these $20,000 professional EMS shielded drones got completely hijacked and crashed out of the sky. And on several occasions, they were moving forward in a motion and then suddenly stopped, just like they hit a force field or an invisible wall in the sky. Even more astonishing than that, the GPS recorded in those events internally on the drone. The first time that it happened, it recorded as if it was flying over Cuba, even though we were in Nevada, like it was headed towards the Bermuda Triangle. And then a full year later, it happened again, and the GPS falsely recorded inside the drone that it was flying over the Pacific Ocean, over the Pacific Northwest, headed over Canada in almost the exact same flight path as the year before. So it was super bizarre. It kept crashing the drones out of the sky. And these are two completely different drones. They're not the same drone being brought back. And we're in Nevada, and this thing is spoofing our drones every time we tried to fly them. Then we also brought in a $200,000 piece of drilling